Welcome to the 7th video in the iPad Essentials series. This video is going to explore the use of iBooks in the classroom and for your own professional use. So iBooks is just a really evolving app use. It has the resources that are just amazing. There are so many free books available to teachers and students, and the ability to not just pull in books but also pull in PDFs is something that we're going to go ahead and look at. Books that are created on the iPad or using iBook Author can be pulled into iBooks app in just phenomenal ways. The ability to highlight, add notes, define words, and use the web to search information, just really key in the use of this app. So let's go ahead, and I'm just going to go ahead and show you how in the classroom I've used iBooks and how I just personally have used iBooks. So once I have jumped into the iBooks app here, you'll see that there are basically two parts to it. There are your collection of books, and these are books that can either be purchased in the store, or some of these books were created on the iPad by students. And then also, if you go into your collections, you can also view PDFs. And in the PDFs, just some thoughts. We have our school calendar that I load. We have our my state standards that I have loaded here so that I can refer to them. But really, you could have anything. You could have your handbook for your school, anything here. Books, you can see the books that have been read and those that have not been read that are new. And let me just share with you some of the quick features of iBooks. So when you purchase a book and you pull it into your library, I'll go back to the very beginning. You have your table of contents, you have bookmarks that you can set as you go through the book. And this would be helpful if you have, different classes possibly reading the same book. And then also you have a section where anytime you take a note in the book or highlight something in the book, it shows it in this note section. It tells you when you collected it, what page it's on. You can go to that section and it'll take you back to that area. But then also, once you have the notes and maybe you want to go ahead and keep them, or maybe actually even print them off for some reason, you can go ahead up to the top right hand corner and you can email or print off your notes from the book. So that is really key. I love that part of the classroom because then I do have some students that may be front loading it for them, giving them the notes ahead of time, or having the notes in it like a skeletal form for them before we start reading. Key to helping in their comprehension. But I'm going to go ahead and resume and show you really quickly how, if you are working within iBooks, and let's say you just want to go ahead and you're reading it and you maybe just want one word defined. If you highlight that one word or tap on that one word, you can have a definition come up, and it'll give you, in phrases how it could be used, its origin, common definitions for it. You can also go ahead and search the web down there at the bottom if you'd like more. And if you just maybe want to go ahead and take that word and maybe you just want that one word highlighted, or you want to go ahead and have it spoken out loud. Remember that speak selection function that you had at the very beginning in the iPad series. You can have it spoken out loud in English. Once it has, spoken that out loud, you can even note, type something next to it. Or if you are interested in having it highlighted for later, there you go. And it gives you some choices here. Maybe I want it highlighted in green, or, I can even add the note with it. But you can see that this could be used for scaffolding the reading process, and you can use it for highlighting words or that you would like to later discuss. And a key thing with iBooks up here at the top, you can go ahead and increase or decrease the font size. You can change the font, you can change the theme, you can change the brightness or dimness of the screen. you can go ahead and search for a specific word or a page number or something like that. And this is where you would go ahead and add your bookmarks. Now I put a bookmark on page 61. Once I go back, if I go down all the way, there we go, it should be the last one. Whoops, down here, page 60, 61 is now bookmarked for me. So, ways that I've used this in the classroom is doing a simple read aloud. I didn't purchase a copy of the one and only Ivan for every iPad in my classroom. I purchased one copy of it, and we read it together using the projector. However, you could go ahead and make that a part of your student fees. If you would like every student to read a certain book, the Pluto Files by Neil deGrasse Tyson, you could request that and everyone load it to their individual device. Now, I did mention that books that are created on the iPad can also be used here. So this is a math textbook that was created by students in a 6th grade math class. And they used iBook Author, and in it they have videos, they have definitions. iBook Author is phenomenal for pulling together content and having students create representations of what they're understanding. I have created iBooks with my students using apps on the iPad as well. And as I said, we're going to have a video on book building. But these books can be just plain, text and picture, or they can be a little bit more complicated. This one was one that was created by students for my class after a field trip. But you could easily just go ahead and make, with a book building app that I'm going to demonstrate later on, books that have video embedded in them and audio and everything you could think of. But let's jump really quickly. To go back to the structure here, I have these laid out like in box format, so they're on a bookshelf, but you could just list them, and over here you could go ahead and edit the way you have them, or by the authors, by the categories down here at the bottom. So you can play around with this a lot. I mean, you could get lost in iBooks just, setting it up the way you want. But the store is just a really cool place to visit. And at the bottom, you have your categories, your featured, New York Times, your top charts, categories, browse. What you've purchased will show up there. I went ahead into the textbook section because I think this is a pretty cool place to start looking at where textbooks are being loaded. And within this category, and I'm going to back up really quick, in the all categories section, I went ahead after looking at the features. I went into more, and I went down to, let's see, here we go, I went down to textbooks down towards the bottom, and in here now you see the new textbooks. You can see broken up by category, textbooks, Common Core and National Editions, reference, test prep. This is new, a test prep section. And in test prep they have everything from the SAT to the ACT to advanced placement tests. So, you can really look at this as being a wealth. I mean, a wealth of information for you. You also have, if you go down, more to explore, but there are a lot of Open University books that are available. And this is just key for the classroom. If you're looking for supplements to what you have, maybe you don't have the funds to purchase, there are some free books in here. And looking down in here, you do have some paid ones, but once you decide that you want one, let's say you want, let's go in here to Studying Excretion, the cat dissection, Introduction to Flowers. That's pretty here we go. And it'll give you the ratings for it and tell you, how many people have used this book, what they think about it, details in the book. And remember, if you load something and decide later on it's not for you, you don't want to use it with your students, it's as easy as deleting it. So you can preview the books, pull them in, and decide if they're, worth using. But just getting your feet wet, it's not a bad idea to download one book, practice highlighting it, practice taking notes, and then that way you get a sense of maybe what your students could be doing with a book or what you could be doing together as a whole class. There's just so many ways to use this. I'll let you just explore on your own.